Everyone. Christie Arkovich, a student loan attorney here in Tampa, Florida. We are getting a number of questions regarding the one-time account adjustment, and there's a lot of things that I think need to be covered regarding the extension of the deadline to file. So what this is the IDR waiver program that was basically put into effect by the Biden administration and the Secretary of Education is to allow folks who have been in long-term forbearances or something like that, basically allow for a discharge of their loans after they make 20 or 25 years of payments. And so they're doing this one-time account adjustment. A lot of folks have lots of questions about that. And essentially the deadline to take advantage of this program is you have to take your federal loans, your older FFEL loans, they're the federal family education loans, and consolidate them to a direct loan. It was by May 1st. And so that was a very important deadline that was coming up, because if people didn't do that by that time, they would never get the benefits of this fantastic one-time adjustment. And so the deadline was pushed. It was just pushed last week to the end of the year. So there's a lot of folks who can wait, but I strongly discourage waiting. And here's why. And I did put a blog up on our website about this a few days ago. Essentially, on May 11th, that's the deadline that the COVID emergency is set to expire. We also expect the final rules to come down any day now on the IDR waiver program, as well as the new repay, which has been in a comment period recently. So once those two things become final, it will create an environment that the FFEL servicers and their industry can then challenge that final rule in a court of law by filing a lawsuit or an appeal. And I fully expect them to do that. There's $200 billion at stake. These FFEL servicers, if you knew the extent that they went to try to stop the discontinuance of the FFEL program back in 2010, all the lobbying that was done to try to keep those older privately originated loans but federally backed loans active for the fee generation, you'd know that there's a lot of reasons for them to fight this as well. So I give it probably an 80% chance that they will file an appeal. If they do so, it would be probably later in May or thereafter. And once they do, that will stop. Probably there'll be a stay or a hold placed on consolidations of these FFEL loans to the direct loans to take advantage of the IDR waiver, as well as the new repay. So I don't want to wait. I mean, why not file to do the consolidation now, get that done while the getting's good? Because I don't think that program is going to be quite as easy here later this spring, summer, or fall due to a pending appeal, or due to a likelihood of a possible appeal. So one of the questions that we had yesterday that came up was, let's say someone had a FFEL consolidation loan. This particular client had one in 2004. Does that mean that the new recounting of payments, does that mean it's going to go back to 2004, the consolidation loan, or will it go back further to include loans and payments that were made on the loans that were within that consolidation loan? Because one of the advantages of this one-time account adjustment is that if you now consolidate a bunch of loans together, they're all going to redate to the date of the earliest repayment period, which is fantastic, particularly for those who might have done undergrad and then grad school a little bit later. But even without that, if they did grad school right after undergrad, you still have several years of backdating, essentially starting the 20 or 25-year time frame from the first repayment period, first graduation, which would be from undergrad. And if a lot of this sounds unfamiliar to you, please check back with our blog. Our website is christiearkovich.com. We also have a prior YouTube video specifically about the IDR waiver program where we list what the specifics are for that. So this is intended to be kind of a follow-up to that, not really discussing what the program is, but some of the more finer nuances about when to file and some of the questions that have come up. So, and by the way, if I haven't asked before, which I don't think I did, please subscribe to our YouTube videos. We do offer this service free of charge. We hope to try to help get the word out. I know that sometimes the federal websites are a little hard to read. There's conflicting information a number of different places because of the old rules and some of the new rules. new things are coming out every week, basically, sometimes even every day. So please subscribe so that we can continue to offer this, and you'll continue to get updates when new videos post. But this particular question was whether or not the recount would cause the 20 or 25-year time period to start from the date of the consolidation loan or the date of any loans that were within that consolidation loan. And we've confirmed that it is any loans that were within that consolidation loan. And specifically, what I'm referring to is on the government's website, and this can probably be located through studentaid.gov. You can basically navigate through some of the different pages. But it talks about Ed will continue or will conduct a one-time account adjustment to borrower accounts that will count time toward IDR forgiveness, including, and this is the important part, any time in repayment on earlier loans prior to consolidation of those loans into a consolidation loan. Now, I know it's a lot of words, but basically it means that if you had a prior consolidation and now you're doing one to basically consolidate that older consolidation loan to take advantage and be a direct loan now, it doesn't matter that that old consolidation loan wiped out the earlier loans. It's still going to go back and use the repayment dates of those earlier loans. I was a little confused about that initially because a consolidation loan is generally a rewrite. I mean, it's basically paying off the old loans. They no longer exist. And therefore, you have this one new loan. So generally, another consolidation would deal with that one new loan. But in this case, they actually look into it and they look to see what's behind that consolidation. So that's super important. But I did want to reiterate that time periods that do not count for the 20 or 25-year forgiveness, and just so that if you don't have the time to go back and look at our earlier video, the 20 or 25 years, it's 20 years forgiveness once you make payments towards undergrad loans and 25 once you make payments towards grad loans. And payments can include extended forbearance periods. So essentially, the periods of time that don't count are in-school deferments. And unfortunately, there are a lot of folks who went back, took a class here and there in order to try to do the in-school deferment. And usually it would have to be more than half time. And then also bankruptcy. Any time period in bankruptcy would not count towards the 20 or 25 years. But other types of deferment will generally count. Certainly forbearance and any kind of payment on any kind of plan will count towards the IDR waiver. Now, another question that came up is what kind of payment plan do I need to go on to after, to complete this? Like, let's say that the IDR account adjustment leaves me 2 years shy or 1 year shy. Can I go on 10-year standard? No, you need to go on an income-driven payment plan in order to complete the income-driven, waiver basically here. So if you've just got a short time left, make sure that you go on probably repay, but you may want to consult with a student loan professional to determine which payment plan could be best. If, for instance, like we have one client who also running concurrently has public service being reviewed currently. And so the question there is, well, should that person, could they do a 10-year standard? Yes, they could, because under public service, loan forgiveness, not only does income-driven payment plans count towards the forgiveness, but the 10-year standard does as well. Now, it's very important just to not go on a standard plan, because the amortization, the number of months or years of that plan counts tremendously. A 20, 25, or 30-year amortization standard plan does not count towards public service. It's only loans that are amortized over a 10-year period. So it would be a higher payment, but it probably would be for a very short period of time if you're already in public service and you're just trying to fill that gap. What I mean by that is no one in their right mind would complete 120 months of standard payments, 10-year standard payments, and then apply for public service because that loan is amortized and repaid after 10 years. There's nothing left to forgive. But there are a lot of folks who've worked public service for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. They just have a little bit of time left. For them, if their income has shot up, they may want to consider converting to a 10-year standard to finish out, to fill that gap, basically, in order to qualify for public service. So these are the types of questions that we address in our consultations. If you do have questions that are beyond the scope of these videos or our blog, please feel free to contact us. Our best way of reaching us is info@ChristieArkovich.com. Our office phone number is 813-258-2808. That's 813-258-2808. It's a lot of eights. Go ahead and contact us. We do consultations. We do charge for that one-on-one with an attorney to go over your specific loans. We ask for your loan data ahead of time. We give you screenshots on how to pull that, how to determine what you have, and where to go from here. But I hope this video has been very helpful to you. This program is huge. Please don't wait until the end of the year. Please try to think about, at least, consider your options, determine if consolidation is best for you, and do it this month, really. Here in April is the best time to do it, because we do anticipate a likely appeal by the FEL servicers later of this fantastic one-time adjustment. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And again, this is Christie Arkovich from Tampa, Florida.